Good morning, I'm Wendy Burke, and this is the CBC Morning Report for Wednesday, December 1st. In our top story, Barbadians are this morning still basking in the glow of celebration. After marking two major events in the island's history yesterday, the 55th anniversary of independence and a transition to a parliamentary republic, the independence celebrations held in Golden Square Freedom Park included a national honors ceremony addressed by Prime Minister Mia Motley.
I want to talk to the young mothers and the young fathers of this nation. For you, more than any other, are the ones who will be required to help us build out this nation. You are the ones who can teach wrong from right. We will help reinforce it in our churches, in our schools. But the primary responsibility must always be yours. And regardless of what you face in life, that responsibility of teaching our children wrong from right must never cease. That capacity to foster respect, loyalty, compassion, all of the values that make a difference to the kind of people we shall be. Everlasting curiosity, those are yours to imbue in our children.
This year's Independence honorees also received their awards during the historic ceremony. The esteemed list includes the Right Excellent Robin Rihanna Fenty. Kishmar Sanjus reports.
Barbadian songstress and entrepreneur Robin Rihanna Fenty is Barbados' 11th national hero. She has been recognized for her patriotism and the way she gives back to her country and continues to treasure the island as her home.
Prime Minister Mia Motley, thank you so much for honoring me in this way. I have traveled the world and received several awards and recognitions, but nothing compares to being recognized in the soil that you grew in. So I thank you so much for this. Thank you.
The COVID-19 leadership team of 7 shares the Order of Freedom of Barbados. That same honor has been bestowed on the new president and British Royal Prince Charles. Head of Isolation Facilities and Infectious Disease Specialist Dr. Corey Ford received the honor on behalf of his team. Peter Odell and former West Indies cricketer Desmond Haynes has also been awarded the Order of Freedom of Barbados. Rudolph Cappy Greenwich is included in the 5 receiving the Order of the Republic for his distinguished contribution to education, both locally and abroad. Among the 5 awarded the Silver Trident of Excellence, Solomon Mohammed Bulbulia, Roger Boyce, Dennis McIntosh, and broadcaster Larry Mears. 7 Barbados Service Star medals were also presented. Another 7 people received the Barbados Service Medal. 4 young men whose acts of bravery saved Hamilton Marshall from a house fire were awarded the Barbados Bravery Medal. There are Lamar Sandiford, Rommel Quimby, Daria Quimby, and Shea Griffith. The Gold Award of Achievement was given to a group of 48 from within Barbados' health sector. Kishmar Senjis, CBC News.
Barbados has signaled to its regional neighbors its commitment to treating its Caribbean citizens fairly. As Prime Minister Mia Motley says, we are one family with one destiny. She expressed thanks in her Independence Day message to regional leaders who journeyed to Barbados to witness its transition to a republic. She says the Caribbean is all we have and we must be protected.
Your presence here symbolizes a respect for the Barbadian journey and the Barbadian people, and it is not lost upon us. We thank you because in the very real words of Earl Walton Barrow, the Right Excellent, that we are one family moving through this region. And it is the ordinary people of the Caribbean that have literally provided the glue to keep us together. Not us as heads of government, but the people who ply their trades, the people who move across the islands, the people who fall in love with each other, the people who work and praise with each other. And this region, this Caribbean region, is all that we have. And may we bless it and protect it with all that is within us.
Ms. Maudley says the challenges generations face have changed.
Food, nutritional food, and water are the new oil of our times. And we have a responsibility to ensure that first and foremost we can provide for ourselves that which we need here. That is why we are so consumed in having to fight against this existential crisis of the climate crisis, because it threatens to undermine our capacity to keep our people together with respect to the scarcity of water, the droughts, with respect to the potential intrusion, saltwater intrusion into our aquifers on our coast, with the removal of coastal communities like what happened at Sixmans Bay and other parts of our west coast.
Next on CBC Morning Report, updates on the COVID-19 pandemic. A 28-year-old woman is the country's latest COVID-19 casualty. The unvaccinated woman died on Monday at the Harrison's Point isolation facility. Her death brings the toll from the virus to 229. Meanwhile, 164 new COVID-19 cases were recorded out of the 1,165 tests done by the Dos Santos Public Health Lab. The positive cases comprise 40 people under the age of 18. The number of people in isolation facilities stood at 457, while 2,601 were in home isolation. Former ministers of health in the Bahamas are calling on the government to modify its testing policy to get a handle on the COVID-19 situation. We have a report from Eyewitness News.
Everybody coming into the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Bahamian, non-Bahamian, visitor, vaccinated, unvaccinated, have a PCR test that is negative, preferably within 72 hours. And the discrimination against persons that are unvaccinated, it's time to roll that away.
Former Health Minister and Elizabeth Member of Parliament Dr. Dwayne Sands making a recommendation that government move to a mandatory testing policy for all entering the country.
The issue is, how do we keep this a safe, profitable, viable tourism destination? So this stopgap measure may buy us a few days, but in and of itself, I think we need to understand that it's time to prepare for the worst, even as we hope and pray for the best.
Now, the country has been fighting a global pandemic for nearly 2 years now, defeating a first, second, and a third wave. But with a fourth wave now possible to hit our shores, another former minister today is concerned over the lack of information by this government.
We were always in communication with the Bahamian people on a consistent weekly basis. I probably did in excess of probably some 40 press conferences on behalf of the ministry towards the Bahamian people, letting them know what was taking place. And at all points in times, we told the Bahamian people what was going to happen And what we said happened. We said the numbers would be down at the end of September, and that's exactly what took place.
And in some instances, Wells suggests the current administration is only finalizing what the FNM government began.
In Guyana, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony yesterday warned that many Guyanese are of the opinion that the country has dealt with the coronavirus pandemic, even though 992 people have died and 37,825 others have been infected since March last year. Speaking during a COVID update, he said there are still many people who believe that somehow COVID has disappeared from Guyana. The health minister adds that the emergence of the new Omicron variant of the coronavirus presents all countries with a renewed COVID-19 threat, and he urged those who are not vaccinated to do so and to abide by the other public health guidelines. Meanwhile, Guyana's President, Dr. Irfan Ali, is calling on those who are fully vaccinated to take the next step in receiving the COVID-19 booster shot. His plea comes as Omicron, the newest COVID-19 variant, stares headlines globally of its capabilities for hospitalization and even death. More in this NCN report.
The World Health Organization says that the 13th COVID-19 variant, Omicron, could fuel a global surge of COVID-19 cases with severe consequences. The WHO, however, confirmed that there's still considerable uncertainty about the Omicron virus, including how easily it spreads, how dangerous it is, whether it can evade vaccines and immunity, how it responds to diagnostic tests and therapeutics, and even its specific symptoms. What was confirmed by the body was that the risk of the new strain to vulnerable populations, especially in countries with low vaccination rates, could be substantial. Head of State Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali assures that Guyana has the tool to successfully diminish the threat of the new strain, the COVID-19 vaccines.
If it is that this variant is far more infectious, then the only thing that can protect us is the vaccination. The only thing that would slow hospitalization is the vaccination. The only thing that would slow death rate and actually very successfully is the vaccination. We have the vaccines available.
The head of state is therefore calling on those residing in this country to be fully vaccinated and those eligible to receive a booster dose to do so immediately.
Those who are qualified for the booster, make that decision. Take the booster. This is our only chance of fighting off and being aggressively ahead of the impact of any variants on our country.
New measures to combat the new Omicron variant of coronavirus took effect in England yesterday, with face coverings again compulsory in shops and on public transportation, as the government said it would offer all adults a booster dose of vaccine within 2 months to bolster the nation's immunity. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said the new measures will buy us time in the face of the new variant.
Working together with the devolved administrations, we want to ramp up capacity across the whole United Kingdom to the levels we achieved in the previous vaccination effort. We're going to be throwing everything at it in order to ensure that everyone eligible is offered that booster in, as I say, just over 2 months. There'll be temporary vaccination centres popping up like Christmas trees, and we'll deploy at least 400 military personnel to assist the efforts of our NHS, alongside, of course, the fantastic Jabs Army of volunteers.
Well, let's bring in Jonah Hull, who's following developments for us from London. Jonah, the Prime Minister there talking about more vaccinations, but at least in that clip, not talking about masks or social distancing. How are people responding to this?
Well, there's a lot for people to get used to, of course, for a public particularly that's grown extremely used to living with almost no restrictions at all since July the 19th. Suddenly now mask wearing is back in some indoor settings, PCR testing for travellers, travel restrictions and so on. But essentially, it's really a very stark turnaround for this government, this Prime Minister suffering something of a popularity crisis at the moment, this Prime Minister who has promised that nothing will get in the way of Christmas this time. And I think the desperate hope in government will be that in the next couple of weeks, scientists will turn around and essentially give the green light, at least to the most feared potential aspects of the Omicron variant. And in the meantime, there are these sort of light touch restrictions designed, as the Health Secretary said in that press conference, to shore up defences. The Prime Minister there identifying the principal line of defence being the vaccine programme, more particularly the booster programme. He wants all adults to receive their booster shots by the end of January. He's talking about bringing the army in to facilitate that process. But essentially, I think all of that with fingers firmly crossed behind government ministers' backs, worried that, you know, if the green light isn't given and if more stringent restrictions are required over the Christmas period, say, well, that could be potentially politically disastrous.
Germany has moved closer to mandating COVID vaccines to all adults as health officials come up with responses to the new Omicron variant.
The seriousness of the COVID situation here in Germany has focused many minds, both medics and ministers, on what they can do to try to dampen down this wave of COVID that has been washing across the states of Germany for many weeks now. In one sense, the politicians have decided to decide later. Many of the ministers who took part in the digital conference on Tuesday afternoon here in Germany were trying to get some form of decision that might help them in their individual states. But in the event, what's been decided is to wait for a special conference of prime ministers of states and the new government that will be sworn in next week federally. Well, that will be where the decisions will be taken. We know what's going to be on the table, though. We know that the incoming Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, wants to see what's called in German an Impfpflicht, a mandatory vaccine requirement for everyone who has not had one will have to have one. He wants the new parliament to vote on that. He is also in favour of reducing the length of time that a person's vaccine status actually will apply. So at the moment in Germany it's a 12-month period. He wants the vaccine status of a person only to last 6 months, which is far shorter than what the EU has proposed recently of 9 months.
It's time to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados. We say good morning to Pearson Oscar Boone.
Oscar, listen, there's a man from Silver Hill, I think he passed away recently, who would sing in Oisins. His name was Oscar. Are you calling me Oscar this morning?
Well, right. I know you can sing, so.
Well, so can you, and as a consequence of that, I've dubbed you Olita. So good morning, Wendy Olita Burke. Remember Olita Adams?
Yes.
Good, so you see, beautiful voice, just as beautiful as yours. So good morning, Wendy. Good morning, everyone. When you join me at 6:30 this morning or thereabouts, we'll share with you about a story about a man. His name is Alan. He lives in Liverpool. He knows his grandfather is Barbadian, but during the lockdown, he sought to trace his family roots, and it led him right back here to beautiful Barbados, and so he's been able to reconnect with his family. What a lovely story. We'll share that with you from 6:30 this morning. Also today, we'll turn the spotlight on Zone 10 of the Optimist Club International, and they're working under the theme, Working Together for Optimism. Exactly how will they celebrate that occasion? We'll talk to them a little bit more about that as well. And our friend from her manager's first aid kit has written, you can't pour from an empty cup. That is a truism. But what do we do? Joan Underwood will join us to talk a little bit more about that as we become better managers of self, better managers of people and processes. So just a little bit about what you can see when you join me at 6:30. Back to you, Wendy Olita.
Yes, thank you, Pearson Oscar. We'll be seeing you within the hour. It's time now for another break, and we'll be back with more news. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Senator Rudy Grant, says the local tourism sector is returning to some normalcy. In the organization's message to mark Barbados' 55th anniversary of independence, he said in recent months they have observed increasing visitor arrivals, higher accommodation occupancies, and a meaningful return of tourism activity.
Enjoyment of Friday night Bajan cuisine and cultural expressions at Oystins. The increasing tourism activity translates into more persons working in the tourism industry, which provides for greater economic activity. The signs of the recovery are evident, but the threat from COVID-19, complicated by the emergence of variants, signals that the road to recovery will be challenging and require our courage, determination, and confidence.
Senator Grant says the recovery of the tourism industry requires the continued collaboration between government, the private sector, and labour, with a deepened dialogue at the social partnership and to intensify the engagement. Senator Grant says while source market tourism partners inform that Barbados is the #1 desired destination in this region, work still has to be done to attract new markets.
There's also the excitement related to the tourism potential with Africa and the United Arab Emirates. As we endeavor to facilitate sustainable growth of our tourism industry, we must ensure that new tourism growth opportunities are fully exploited. In the past, we have focused heavily on the North American and European markets, but there exists great potential in other regions of the world. With the further expansion of the tourism industry, it is also critical that we strengthen the linkages with sectors such as manufacturing, agriculture, and the cultural industries. During this COVID-19 pandemic, there have been numerous comments concerning the need to diversify the Barbados economy and to eliminate the heavy reliance on tourism. While diversification is welcomed, and as we determine where our diversification efforts will be focused, as a strong industry, our tourism partners will continue to work to provide greater economic benefits to other sectors through the strengthening of linkages and greater collaboration. As we celebrate our 55th anniversary of independence, we also change from a constitutional monarchy to a republic. Barbados now has a Barbadian as our head of state. This signals our continuing maturity and demonstrates the ability of Barbados to exercise full control of its destiny.
Kenny McDowell will have his chance to be heard as he appeals his expulsion from the National Union of Public Workers this evening. Acting General Secretary of the NUPW, Richard Green, says they will have the continuation of the special General Conference this evening at 5 at the Dalkeith headquarters.
That special general meeting is to hear the appeal of former President Brother Kenny McDowell to the decision of the National Council of the NUPW to expel him as a member of the union. On the 30th of September this year, the National Council held a discussion with Brother McDowell on the charge that he would have brought the union into disrepute. The council took the decision that Brother McDowell should be expelled from the union. Subsequently, Brother McDowell has exercised his right of appeal to the general membership, and the NUPW would have convened a special general meeting on the 24th of September to hear that appeal. That meeting did not come off because it was incorrect. There was no quorum. Yes, it's convened same time, same place the following week to allow Brother McDowell to have his case heard before the membership of the union. Of course, we're encouraging all members to participate, to hear Brother Kenny McDowell's appeal, and following that, a decision will be made by the members through a vote.
Jamaica's Independent Commission of Investigations is probing the shooting death of 2 men in Anatoy Bay, St. Mary, during an alleged shootout with the police. During the processing of the crime scene, 2 goats, suspected to be stolen, were removed from the trunk of the vehicle. TVJ reports.
The shooting happened sometime after 2 a.m. along the Agualta Vale Main Road in St. Mary on Friday. By sunrise, Indicom officers were already at the Anatoy Bay police station wrapping up their preliminary investigation. When asked for details, head of the St. Mary Police, DSP Dalian Clark, said a police team on patrol signaled a black Toyota Platts motorcar to stop. He says the driver disobeyed and sped away, with the cops giving chase.
Thereafter, the car came to a stop along that said main road. 3 men alighted from the said car, opened gunfire at the police. The fire was returned. When the shooting subsided, 2 of the 3 men were found suffering from gunshot wounds. 2 legal firearms were recovered from both men. They were subsequently taken to the Anatoy Bay Hospital, where they were pronounced dead.
The deceased have been identified as Delroy Hall, a vendor, and Jamar Plunkett, aka Boogie Reds, a laborer, both 27, from Love Lane in Anatoy Bay. The third person.
In sports, it's day 3 of the second test, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka on first innings were at 204 and West Indies replied with 253 with a lead of 49 runs. We're now on innings break and Kyle Mears was not out on 36. Time now for us to see what the weather picture is for the day. Right now it is fair at 26.2 degrees Celsius. It feels like 31. The humidity stands at 89% and the barometric pressure 1012.4 millibars. The winds are from the east at 26 kilometers per hour. Low tide will be at 7:04 a.m. and a second low tide at 7:43 p.m. High tide will be at 12 minutes past 1 in the afternoon. The seas are moderate in open water with swells ranging from 2 to 2.5 meters and increasing. It will be sunny with cloudy periods with a brief scattered light showers, mainly during the early morning. Tonight in Barbados, it will be partly cloudy with a few brief isolated light showers. And here's now a look at our international cities. Well, we're at the end of this morning's morning report. We now join Pearson Buin for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today, Wednesday, the 1st of December. Would you believe it? How were your yesterdays? Everything just seems to be rolled right into one. From November 29th right through to the end of the day yesterday, we were celebrating the fact that we're now a republic, Barbados. Also celebrating the fact that we do have amongst us Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, as our President of Barbados. We hope you took some time to really soak in what all of that meant. And I hope that today you're turning the corner to becoming a better you as a consequence of all of the change. But how does this all relate to reparations? Andrea King, who is a member of the Barbados National Task Force on Reparations and the Global African Congress, will join us to talk about that. What does that mean, transition to becoming a republic, and how does it influence the fight for reparations? We'll also today be meeting a number of our young people who are now gearing up to become the outstanding parish ambassadors for 2020-21. And so the Spirit of the Nation show is this Saturday live here on TV8, and we'll get to meet a couple parish ambassadors from the parish of St. Philip and also St. Andrew. We'll also be delving into our manager's first aid kit. You can't pour from an empty cup. That is so very true. But how do we replenish our cup? How do we get ourselves geared up so that we become very effective managers of people, processes, and ourselves? Joan Underwood will join us as we delve through that particular exercise. But let's get started this morning by first meeting. It's also World AIDS, and we're trying to get our first set of guests ready, so don't apologize for that. We're trying to get them all ready, but today too, you get a chance to win What You Can Give Me for Christmas. World AIDS Day is always recognized on December the 1st, and so today, for those who are living with the condition HIV, is no longer considered a disease by some, is now considered just a chronic illness. And so it changes our perspective, it changes our response to HIV as well. And you know, over the years, and it's been quite a few decades thus far, we've also known that, you know, there's hope. There is hope, literally, for all of this. You're ready now. Let's head to St. Philip and meet the parish ambassadors, Letitia Hunt and Jonathan Carrington. Good morning, both of you.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine myself, and you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. Now listen, starting with you, Jonathan, we're just days away from December the 4th, which is the day for the Spirit of the Nation show. Are you ready?
Of course, I'm ready. I believe the St. Philip team has put in a lot of good work, and with the help of our committee and along with the guidance of the Community Independent Celebration Secretariat, I believe that we are ready for what December 4th has to unveil for us.
What makes you so confident?
I mean, naturally, I'm a confident person myself, and I believe in the work that we have put in. St. Philip has been doing a really good job. I must thank Leticia for sticking by me and really pushing me along. And I believe that we have done a very, very, very good job.
Letitia, was he difficult to carry?
Absolutely not. It's like we gel together, and we're one that the other one pull along.
And that's so important because it's a team effort. You're both parish ambassadors. Are you yourself ready, Letitia?
Yes, I am ready. I'm actually excited because this entire year was a bit different because, you know, we have COVID-19 now, and it showed us ways that we could become creative, think outside the box, develop new initiatives to reach the community. So it was an exciting journey, and I'm eager to see the virtual.
So when you
and let you all see what we did.
I can't wait to. So when you began to think outside the box, where did your thoughts take you?
How are we going to get the message out there without actually interacting face-to-face with persons? How are we going to use our social media platforms that we can reach the public and still be effective and efficient?
And do you think you hit a tick, you got a pass mark on each of those areas that you set for yourself? Being efficient,
yes.
Getting to meet the people, effective, all of those kinds of things. So Jonathan, what's the project that you guys were working on?
Okay, so the project this year was named Culture for We, which looked at heritage, socialization, entertainment, and cuisine. I would have brought We Business, We Culture, which would have interviewed persons about their businesses in St. Philip. But the project was mostly geared to showcasing those things in St. Philip. We have a lot to offer. Many persons, I don't know if you know this, Pearson, but do you know St. Philip for beaches?
Not particularly. I know that you have beaches, but not. I know there's Foul Bay, there's Shark Hole. There are some other beaches as well. So what do you want to teach me about the beaches of St. Philip?
Have you ever heard of Pete Bay Beach?
Pete Bay? Yeah. Skeets Bay. I've heard of Crane. Talk to me, my boy. Test me this morning. Let me hear you.
Let me see. All right, so you know that you can actually swim out by Culpeper?
No.
Well, some persons who are skilled enough actually take up on themselves. Well, I really don't recommend it, but they take it upon themselves to, you know, have a leisure day at Culpeper.
Wow.
Short Hole, as you said, very well known beach, and there's a
Mhm.
lot others more. If I start naming them, I can't stop.
It would take the whole morning, right?
More than the whole morning.
And that's the beauty of what the project is about, the whole exercise within the parish independence committees and getting up for the Spirit of the Nation show. You learn so much about yourself, but you also learn so much about the place you call home, at least the parish you call home. What did you learn, Letitia, about St. Philip that before you did not know?
Well, I was introduced to so much. Where to start? I actually learned more about Culpeper, persons that had an important role within the parish. My favorite was Dorothy Hinkson, and that we were the only parish with 2 railways, and we were heavily intertwined with the sugarcane revolution. And we have over 20 plantations here in this parish. All of these things I overlooked before, and this journey really helped cement a lot. That I have a greater appreciation for my parish now.
So now
I
the
love
onus,
it.
I can hear it, girl. I can hear it. I love it. So the onus now lands on both of you to assist other people within your parish understand more about the things that you love about your parish. And I know you said you're transitioning onto social media and the other platforms to reach those in St. Philip as well. Now, Saturday night is coming. I know you've done already your formal wear segment. What happens on Saturday that we can all look forward to?
So Saturday is the award ceremony. So the recordings will be shown on CBC Live first, and then there's the award ceremony which we attend, and hopefully, I believe that St. Philip will win it.
Wow, so we're looking forward to that. I'm going to be there, so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys as well. The Piece of the Rock project, tell me more about it.
Well, the Piece of the Rock was actually done in... You want to go, Leticia?
Go ahead, Letitia.
Oh, this was done to highlight or pay tribute to persons within the community that would have had a great impact. And this is where I learned most about these persons. So we had persons like Dorothy Hinkson, Flourish Dish, and just to name a few. And we actually met persons that were their family. So it was interesting to see, because it's that you still had a part of them there. So it was a good experience.
I'm telling you, I can't wait for people in St. Philip to explore more. I can't wait for everyone, while we sit at home and watch on Saturday night, to enjoy more of the Piece of the Rock from St. Philip. And I really want to wish both of you the absolute best. Put your best, as the old people say, put your best foot forward and just bring your A game. I know you can, because already you're sounding so confident. Jonathan, I want you to make an appeal to everybody in St. Philip, all the Philippines, to watch you on Saturday night, watch yourself and Letitia and support you. What do you say to them?
From Brayton all the way up to East Point, we thank you so much for supporting us the past year. We know it has been a rough ride. Some events that persons were really looking forward to had to be cancelled because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Do implore you to come out, well, not come out, but to stick to your television screens on Saturday to watch the ultimate triumph of St. Philip.
All right.
To win this Spirit of the Nation show.
All right. I love it. Letitia, what do you say?
I want to also thank everyone for their support, their words of encouragement, always encouraging us to push on. And I cannot go without encouraging others to experience this journey. For the youth, I encourage you to join this program as is one to help build opportunities, help build camaraderie, help build resilience within our society. It takes you to another level and gives you a better appreciation for your St. Philip culture and the culture of Barbados and its history in a whole. So I want to encourage youth and others that can participate in this program to come on and enjoy this experience. You will not regret it.
All right, beautiful. You guys are so eloquent I want to commend you, really, and thank you so much for putting yourselves forward to represent your parish, but also to be great examples of young people on this island, because, you know, we need it. And so you, for me, are two shining examples of what we have to offer the world. So thank you this morning, Letitia Hunt and Jonathan Carrington, Parish Ambassadors for St. Philip. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday evening. The show goes live at 8 o'clock on TV8 and across all social media platforms. And I could only wish you the absolute best and all the good luck ahead, okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
You're very, very welcome indeed. Thank you too for joining me, the Parish Ambassadors from the Parish of St. Philip. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, they're competing against the Parish Ambassadors from St. Andrew. We'll meet them in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
14 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock, as you've been hearing me so far for the morning, reminding you that on Saturday evening at 8 o'clock, December the 4th at 8 o'clock, is the Spirit of the Nation show. Every great reason for all of you to find yourself before your viewing device so you can see our young people be their best selves. Joining us now are the Parish Ambassadors for St. Andrew in Hewley Watson and Kadisha Codrington, along with their attendant Sherry Ann Carrington. Good morning to each of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Hewley, let's start with you. How does it feel to be the Parish Ambassador for St. Andrew?
Pearson, it felt really awesome to represent and to take the journey as St. Andrew's male Parish Ambassador. I just want to say for these past 2 years in this role, it has been an experience, it has been a learning curve, and it has been a joy and just to be a part of this whole parish of St. Andrew. From Belle Plaine straight down to up the hill and turn us off.
Up the hill, turn us off. So what's been the best part of this journey thus far for you, Hewley?
Well, the best part of this journey for me, Pearson, had been the opportunity to be a part and to interact with my community and just tour and experience the ambience and the beauty of my parish, St. Andrew. For me, in this pandemic, one of the things that stood out to me was the resilience of my parish, the persons within my parish, how they were able to come together and support each other, and at the end of the day, be each other's keeper. As the Bible says, be our brother's keeper. So we really saw that really played out a lot within this COVID-19 pandemic through our Soup Drive initiative, partnering with Slow Food Barbados. And then by extension, we were able to tour various heritage spots in St. Andrew, and I really took it all in. I was like saying, you know what, there's nowhere like St. Andrew in terms of the scenery and the beauty, Pearson.
Fair enough. I mean, you come from there, you could as well say it yourself, right? Kadisha, what about you? Kadisha, how has the journey been for you thus far?
Amazing, amazing. I can't begin. I don't know where to start. This has been a goal for me from the time I was a teen. And I remember saying I wanted to be a parish ambassador, going to many of these Reparations shows. And to actually be able to accomplish that goal and being in the program for 2 years, not only one, has indeed been an experience, being a part of an amazing team. And then also being able to create new initiatives in this new COVID environment, be innovative, and still be able to accomplish goals where we can engage our community members. It has indeed been an experience and a pleasure being an ambassador for these past 2 years.
Sherry-Ann, your job seems easy because these seem like two very focused, energized young people. So how difficult was your job really to manage them as an attendant?
To tell you the truth, Pearson, it was not difficult. These two young people was always ready, always enthusiastic about this journey, so it was not hard at all. And I would do it over again just with these two young people.
I sit here and I watch them, I'm thinking, where did they come from? We have these people living here because there's such an energy, such a positive energy that is exuding from both of them. And it must certainly make you, where you sit on the Parish Independence Committee, so proud of the people of St. Andrew.
Yes, indeed, I am proud of the people of St. Andrew, and I'm proud of my two ambassadors. I mean, we had a great time together. I actually became a family. I remember the first time I was introduced to these two young people. Actually, our journey started from our interview with Mr. Yudi. We got interviewed the same day, and we hit it off. And I told him, even if we are not called, we have to keep this connection going, not knowing we would fall, and it grew from there.
Wow.
And no problems with these two young people.
So Hewley is a very easy to get along with kind of person, right? so talk to me a little bit.
Didn't get interviewed that day.
Because she wasn't interviewed on that day. Hewley, talk to me about.
She wasn't.
Talk to me about what you had to do as part of the getting yourselves ready, the training that you had to go through with the Parish Independence Day Committee, and getting yourself ready for this big event.
Wow, Pearson, that in itself was a whole long story. I remember when we first were asked to prepare our speech, myself and Kadisha, we had our speech was at 5 minutes, and we were told this speech had to be cut 2 minutes.
Yes.
And Pearson, we were trying to. I mean, in our full 2 years of experience, we were trying to summarize everything in 2 minutes. I'm like, how are we gonna get this done? I'm like, seriously, but I mean, we were able to get it done in the capacity with the help of our chairperson, Roger Hudson, who was able to guide us, as well as the other members of the PIC team for St. Andrew. That was in terms of the writing of our speech to present on our Parish project. And then we had our training in terms of our walk for our formal wear, which for me was an experience because it's not something I'm accustomed to. For the ladies can tell you, it was something new to me, and I had to make sure I memorized it. I had to make sure that I got it all up together. It means try to mentally create a mental image on how I'm gonna go through a walk. You know, it's not my normal walk, so I have to look more like I'm showing off the wear at the time. And even in terms of our formal wear in our recording, our formal wear took the initiative from our visit to Mount Hillaby. Because when myself and Kadisha we visited Mount Hillaby, we said this would depict wonderful in our formal wear actually. So we were actually involved in every aspect of our project, even right down to our actual dress of formal wear.
Wow. So Kadisha, was he clumsy? Was he one of those clumsy young men? And did you see the transformation?
I remember meeting a quiet Huey that never used to smile. Like, I remember we would go somewhere and we would be like, Huey, let's take a picture, and Huey would be like, but it's a totally different Huey all together. It's like a brother and sister relationship that we have, and as Sherry-Ann said, we move like a family. So I would say throughout the entire journey, I would say Huey was an amazing partner to work with, and we always had that togetherness. If it was a case where I felt frustrated about something or I felt overwhelmed, he was there to say we're going to get through this together, and it would say up to this day that is just how we are.
So having gone through it thus far though, Kadisha, what do you see for yourself after December the 4th? Do you want to continue your project, and would you want to continue working with the Parish Independence Committee?
I would say yes, because I believe that I can contribute in the future to, based on my experience that I would have gathered throughout the 2 years, I believe that I can still contribute, and whoever else will be coming as the ambassadors after us, I believe that we can. There will be some sort of ministry that we can give them going forward.
Sherry-Ann, how can other young people watching today from St. Andrew put themselves forward as Hewley and Kadisha have?
To put yourself forward, you have to have a love of country, love of the parish, and want to give back to the parish or give back to your community. After that, you can go on the CICS page or any of the members of the St. Andrew PAC. We have pages, St. Andrew PAC on Instagram and on Facebook, and you could make your request there. And reach out to one of the members, and we would guide you from there.
I mean, that's what you did. You decided, I want to be a part of the program, and so you went forward as to be an attendant. How has the journey been for you so far?
Yes, at first I was on the committee for 2 years before that, and when it came up, I was like, one of the committee members, which is my close friend, said, "Should I give this a chance?" And I was like, "Really? Do you really think you can do this?" And she said yes, and the rest encouraged me, so I took the step. I have no regrets of doing it. It was a journey. I have improved somewhat. Although it would be a bag of nerves talking to you all, but there was an improvement. So I encourage anybody to give back, join the program.
So it's a very positive
and the
program.
Journey was,
Sweet.
Yes, it was, and the journey was nice.
Right.
Frustrating at times, but I had the rest to encourage me to go on.
Yeah, I can imagine. Hewley, 2 things that you learned about St. Andrew that you didn't know before.
2 things. First of all, it would have to be my visit to Mount Hillaby, which is some place in my parish. You will not normally find me. I will be normally passing the main road from Mount Hillaby, so I found it as a good spot to just go and chill and just enjoy the scenery. And in terms of the rich history that is associated with Mount Hillaby as well, is something that I took heart to. The other thing that I would have learned in terms from this project is, again, like I said at the beginning, the resilience of my parish. And this is something that caught my attention, especially during 2020 when we were first in lockdown. And myself, Kadisha, and my attendant, and also the members of PAC, we took the initiative, again, like I said, partners with Mornin Barbados, to deliver hot soups to the vulnerable in our parish. And that is something that I thought was dear to my heart. So for me, I got to learn my district members from socialize with them, got to talk to them, got to see how they're doing, how they're feeling. And every time I visit during the week, they would say, "How you doing?" And there's some conversation. There's something new.
Yes.
To learn.
What about you, Kadisha? 2 things that you think are so outstanding about St. Andrew.
Well, I've done pretty much a lot of hiking between me and August, and throughout that period of time, I would have visited so many places that I didn't know exist. From Back River, Bell Hill, we went so many different places that I never saw before. And I remember even sitting down with one of the residents in St. Andrew who once worked for Miss Rock, who was the pioneer for the Rockland Bus Company.
Yes.
And he was able to give us a whole interview about his experience working and how philanthropic she was in terms of being able to assist other members in the community back then. So being able to speak with him, to get experience about his experience working with her was indeed very informative, and that was something that I never knew before.
Sherry-Ann, why should people from St. Andrews sit up on Saturday night at 8 o'clock before their television screens to watch the Spirit of the Nation show and to watch these 2 young people?
People of St. Andrew, I'm calling you to come and view the wonderful show that these 2 young people had put on. We're going to view it and we're going to cheer St. Andrew way, the way St. Andrew do it. We might not be in person, but we need your support, continued support. And at this time, I want to take this opportunity to thank all the supporters that we had throughout the year, especially Mr. Bertrand Hall. I want to give him a congratulations to the award that he got on Monday night. And he's always one of the persons willing to donate or to sponsor our PAC. So we just want to say congrats and thank you to all the rest of the sponsors.
Hewley,
I remember Saturday night, 8 o'clock, be on your TV or wherever you can view it. We have a show to give you, and we will indeed be the winners.
Hewley, I'll give you your chance to appeal to St. Andrew people to watch as well. What do you say?
Well, St. Andrew, we took this journey from 2020 together. And I know we are here in 2021 about to showcase everything that we will have journeyed together. In terms of the ups, the lows, you name it. We just encourage you just to find Zoom parties, Zone watch parties, and just show up in your family circles and click the CBC Facebook link and let's shoot in and support St. Andrew. St. Andrew will come from all the way.
All right. Kadisha, your turn. Talk to them, talk to your people.
Andrew, the show you've been waiting for since 2020 is finally here, and I can say we will not disappoint you. We have so much in store to show you, and I encourage you to tune in at 8 o'clock on Saturday. Don't miss it. As Susie said, watch parties, Zoom parties, and come and support us. Come and see what we have to showcase to you on Saturday night.
This is so fun. I love being a part of the program myself, the Community Independence Secretariat and the Parish Independence Committee. So good to meet you this morning. Attendant Sherrianne Carrington and Parish Ambassadors Hewley Watson and Kadisha Codrington. All the best on Saturday night to both of you. But I know there's a man you mentioned who received a national award, and do we have it already, production crew? There he is, representing the parish of St. Andrew yesterday, being recognized for his outstanding contribution. St. Andrew, put your hand up. Continue to celebrate indeed. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, both of you, and I wish you the very best on Saturday night. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're welcome. We're going to take that break right here. We're coming back with the news after.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Oh, it's time for us to get the news. Once again, here's Wendy Olita Burke.
Thank you so much, Pearson Oscar. And continuing with the news now. Barbados has signaled to its regional neighbors its commitment to treating its Caribbean citizens fairly. As Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley says, we are one family with one destiny. She expressed thanks in her Independence Day message to regional leaders who journeyed to Barbados to witness its transition to a republic. She says the Caribbean is all we have and must be protected.
Your presence here symbolizes a respect for the Barbadian journey and the Barbadian people, and it is not lost upon us. We thank you because, in the very real words of Earl Walton Barrow, the Right Excellent, that we are one family moving through this region. And it is the ordinary people of the Caribbean that have literally provided the glue to keep us together. Not us as heads of government, but the people who ply their trades, the people who move across the islands, the people who fall in love with each other, the people who work and praise with each other. And this region, this Caribbean region, is all that we have. And may we bless it and protect it with all that is within us.
A 28-year-old woman is the country's latest COVID-19 casualty. The unvaccinated woman died on Monday at the Harrison's Point isolation facility. Her death brings the toll from the virus to 229. Meanwhile, 164 new COVID-19 cases were recorded out of the 1,165 tests done by the Bestel Santos Public Health Lab. The positive cases comprise 40 people under the age of 18. The number of people in isolation facilities stood at 457, while 2,601 were in home isolation. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Senator Rudy Grant, says the local tourism sector is returning to some normalcy. In the organization's message to mark Barbados' 55th anniversary of independence, he said in recent months they have observed increasing visitor arrivals, higher accommodation occupancies, and a meaningful return of tourism activity.
Enjoyment of Friday night Bajan cuisine and cultural expressions at Oystins. The increasing tourism activity translates into more persons working in the tourism industry, which provides for greater economic activity. The signs of the recovery are evident, but the threat from COVID-19, complicated by the emergence of variants, signals that the road to recovery will be challenging and require our courage, determination, and confidence.
The Central Bank of the Bahamas says the domestic economy continued a gradual pace of recovery during the month of October, despite the ongoing spread of the coronavirus pandemic that has killed 671 people and infected 22,763 others since March last year. In its monthly Economic Financial Development October 2021 report, the bank said that tourism output maintained its strengthening, undergirded by gains in the high value-added air segment and an uptick in sea traffic, reflecting sustained progress in vaccination efforts both locally and internationally. It also said that monetary developments registered a decrease in bank liquidity due to an expansion in domestic credit, which contrasted with a reduction in the deposit base. Today is World AIDS Day, and PANCAP, the Pan-Caribbean Partnership Against HIV and AIDS, is trying to catch up on its targets towards eliminating the virus. Director Dr. Rosman Adams says the COVID-19 pandemic has interrupted some of their work, but they're focused on ending AIDS.
The theme for this year's World AIDS Day is End Inequalities, End AIDS, End Pandemics. Ending AIDS as a public health problem for the Caribbean requires a set of evidence-based interventions that together have the impact of reducing new infections and cutting transmission of the disease. At the end of 2020, the Caribbean lagged behind the global targets for ending AIDS. With the disruptions from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we expect to be off track at the end of this year. Therefore, this is the time for all of us to work together more than ever to bring us back on track and to accelerate progress towards eliminating AIDS by 2030. The Pan-Caribbean Partnership Against HIV and AIDS PANCAP will continue to work with national programs, civil society organizations, donor agencies, and other stakeholders to ensure a coordinated regional response that focuses not only on biomedical interventions, but also on other determinants such as stigma and discrimination, barriers to access, prevention and care services, and behavior change that require the participation of everyone, including women and adolescent girls and key populations.
And that's a wrap for news. You can watch more news on CBC TV 8 at noon. It's over to you now, Pearson.
Wendy, thank you. Our time is 8 minutes after 7 o'clock. We'll take that break here now and take our first set of questions for you to win with the Crumbs after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
10 minutes after 7 o'clock this Wednesday morning. Time for you to get on the phones now to give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563 because I have a question for you. It is time for the Crumbs question of the day. 228-5562 or 228-5563. There is. It's so simple. Today's Crumbs question of the day. What was the previous name of the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre? What was the previous name of the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford? What was it before? Call me now. Don't dilly-dally. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What was the previous name of the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre? What was it called before? Good morning to you. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
I'm well today. Thank you so much for asking. What's your first name?
Juliet.
Hi, Julia. I'm Pearson. What parish are you watching us from?
St. Michael.
All right. Listen, I want other people from other places to call. So where exactly in St. Michael are you, Juliet?
In Bayville.
So, in Bayville. Okay. Yeah. How was your yesterday? How was Independence Day for you?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, what did you do?
I went on a picnic yesterday.
Did you social distance, Juliet?
Of course.
You're scared. You're right, girl. Do the right things and the right things will attend you. So you had a good time at the picnic?
Yes, I did.
Are you a corned beef sandwich kind of girl?
No, I don't like corned beef, really.
What? You've never had corned beef and white rice?
It's too salty.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, somebody will say, well, wash up the salt. But I know you can't do that with corned beef, right? So listen, are you then a Conkies girl?
Oh, yeah, I made
Oh, here's your brother.
Yeah.
Here's your brother. I know. So, November came and passed, and one of our good viewers wanted to get to us some Conkies, and she has not yet done so, Melda. But nevertheless, Juliet, I'm glad you had some good Conkies. Do you make them yourself, or you're one who buys them?
No, I make them myself.
What's the main ingredient in Conkies?
Corn flour.
What else?
Raisins.
What else?
Margarine.
What else?
Coconut,
What else?
potato.
What else?
I think that's basically it.
And what else?
A few moments later.
All right, Julia, I'm going to stop giving you trouble. So what was the previous name of the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre?
I got a block.
I did that to you, right?
No,
I'm so
onto
sorry.
the program. I was like, oh goodness, I knew that, but
But having talked to me now, but I put you off your track.
yeah, the name probably will come back.
All right, so settle yourself for just a minute, because it's unfair of me to put you in that position. So, what was the previous name? It was a two-word name. Think you're ready?
Goodness. Can't remember no.
Man. So, Juliet, are you blaming me?
No, it's not you. It's my brain.
Oh, okay. Well, then good. I am absolved of all responsibility for that. That's all right. You want to put on try again later then?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Thank you, Juliet.
Okay,
Thank you so much for being a good sport. You're welcome. You're welcome. She was such fun to talk to, but I just knocked her off the track. I'm so sorry. So the question still stands for someone to answer. Call me now, 228-5562 or 63. Good morning to you. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson.
How are you?
Not too bad, and you?
I'm very well, thanks. First name?
Margaret.
Margaret, what parish are you watching from?
St. Michael.
All right. Margaret, what's the answer?
It was Sherburne Center.
Yes, you're absolutely right. How did you enjoy Independence Day, Margaret?
It wasn't no stuff or nothing.
Say it again? How was Independence Day for you?
Just cool.
Just cool?
Just
What does that
take it
mean?
easy.
What does that mean?
Well, I didn't went anywhere. I didn't do much.
Oh, you didn't want to go anywhere, right?
No.
Well, smart. That's all right. When it's all like this, stay home. Stay to your place.
True.
All right, Margaret, you stay on the phone. You're absolutely right. It is Sherburne Center, the former name of the Lord Erskine Sandiford Center. We have some information we need to take from you, and congratulations. She's won today's Crumbs question of the day. Maybe tomorrow it could be you, so stand by for that opportunity then. A break right here, and we'll come right back when we'll remind you you can't pour from an empty cup with Joan Underwood after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
That's right. It's time to reach into our manager's first aid kit. And while the word manager means those in authority, it means you too. How one manages oneself, one manages one's relationships, one manages people. And so this morning, as usual, we'll continue our journey through the pages of the book, Managing, the Manager's First Aid Kit. Joan Underwood has scripted it all. She's put it all together for our benefit. Joan, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
A wonderful Wednesday morning to you. How was your yesterday?
It was very quiet, actually. Yeah. And just basking in all the excitement and the pride of this major accomplishment.
Oddly enough, that's one of the things we're going to talk about this morning, as well as we recognize that you can't pour from an empty cup. And as I read this, I thought to myself, Joan, get out of my head. Would you get out of it? Because it's exactly what I say a lot. And I'm glad that we're talking about this as well. I want to simplify it to even relationships, because oftentimes people expect something from a relationship that doesn't exist because it was never invested. And so we're talking about how we care for oneself, managing one's self, and this is the last chapter in that component of the book, by the way. So when you say you can't pour from an empty cup, what are you saying?
Well, for you to be able to bring forth something, whether it's effort, industry, whatever it is, it has to exist within you to begin with. right? And very often we keep going and going and going, and we don't take time to replenish. So if we use the image of maintaining a vehicle, so you jump in your car every day, turn the ignition on, press gas, and you go. You never take the time to check your oil, look at your gas tank, check your tires. There's going to come a point in time where that vehicle, you're going to turn the ignition and nothing is going to happen. And it's the same with ourselves and our own energy, our own ability to function. We must replenish our resources.
And replenishing of that resource, those resources, require a few things that we need to be mindful of, because sometimes we either set ourselves up for failure or we set ourselves up for success, one way or the other. But if we don't take enough time to make sure that we are prepared to achieve, then we fail, and then we wonder why. Sometimes rest is so very, very critical.
Oh, all the time rest is critical, and I've already told you about me and how I feel about rest. Yeah, because the thing is, even though we think we're doing okay, because a lot of people wear sleep deprivation as if it's some badge of honor. You know, so, oh, I only slept, and we say it as if it's something of which we should be proud. And we think that, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm good, I'm managing. But the thing is, you may be managing, but are you performing at an optimal level? So the people in the medical profession, Mayo Clinic, for example, they say that for an adult, the average adult, we should be getting 7 hours of sleep per night in order to be able to function optimally. Now, I remember saying this in a training exercise, and people like, I can't tell the last time I slept for that long.
That's true.
And I'm okay. I said, but you may be feeling okay, but the thing is, you could be doing even better if you were taking care of your body in the way that it needs to be taken care of.
You know, some would say to you, sleep is overrated. You know, is it sleep or is it rest? Is it some recreation? Is it something else? But you're saying shut down, shut down.
Yes. And it's not either or. We do need deep sleep and quality sleep and not your fitful sleep. But our body does need to rejuvenate overnight. And so it's important that we have that complete shutdown so that we, you know, the restorative things that need to happen can happen. However, in addition to, you know, a good night's rest, we need to be sufficiently in tune with our bodies to realize when it needs a bit of a reprieve. And way back when we were dealing with the first few chapters, we spoke about the importance of self-awareness.
Yes.
And self-awareness is at multiple levels. It's awareness of what's happening with us physiologically in terms of what's going on with our body. It's what's happening with us spiritually, mentally, emotionally. We really do need to be sufficiently in tune with our body that when it speaks to us, because I say all the time, our bodies speak to us, we don't always listen. And initially the body will start speaking, you know, maybe in a whisper. And if we don't hear the whisper, the volume keeps increasing until eventually the body might start screaming at us because we're not paying attention. And that's when, you know, we have heart attacks, we have strokes, etc. We were getting messages, cues before, but we're not sufficiently in tune that we either heard and understood the significance of what our bodies were communicating to us.
Yes, I'm guilty as charged, Joan. Thank you for reminding me of that. Put back into prison mentally, that's all right. But thankfully, I've got past a lot of those things. You know, our viewers are saying good morning to our smiling advisor, Joan Underwood, which is a good thing. The body, your body language alone is such a positive inspiration for a lot of people. And I'm thankful to you for that. Now, you talked about how we can replenish our cup, and you gave us some tips. You gave us at least 10 tips that we can practice towards replenishment of our cup. You said 1, exercise, move. And it says here, in addition to the obvious health benefits, exercise contributes to our emotional well-being. And oftentimes that's one of the things that we overlook. We think exercise is a task, a chore. And you're just saying, no, it's part of our well-being.
Yes, and it's important for you to find something that you enjoy doing. Because if you have negative emotions caught up with the activity, then you're not going to derive the benefits. So, and be creative. So maybe the gym is not for you. That's okay. There's so many other things you can do because as long as you're moving. So there are games, sporting activities you can get involved with. There's walking, just being out in nature. For me, getting out early in the morning, doing that walk, and just being able to take in the beauty that is nature and feel the fresh breeze and see the early morning sun. Or if you're not an outdoors type of person, right now there's so many things available online, yoga, there's no limit to what you can do because even with the restrictions now with COVID, there's so many activities that you can get involved with. So do get up, get out, get moving.
Get moving indeed. And I'm going to zip through a few of them because sleep we spoke about, proper nutrition naturally, practice mindfulness, be present in the moment. Why do you think that's important in helping us to replenish our cup?
Okay, so there's something you said some time ago that stuck with me. You spoke about somebody being fretful and it being so unattractive.
Yes, you did.
Far too often we spend the present moment, which it's called the present for a reason. They say because it's a gift. We spend our present fretting about what happened in the past or worrying about what's going to come in the future. So we don't get to enjoy the now. And it serves no useful purpose because you cannot change the past.
Yes.
And wasting your now fretting about what is to come because you don't have complete control. I'm not saying don't plan, but be present in the moment. Be mindful. Be very conscious of your here and now because, my philosophy is that life equips you with what you need for life.
Yes.
So if you're not paying attention to what's happening in your now, you may miss out on a cue that was provided to help you to prepare for what is to come.
And this is so biblically sound. I don't even want to preach this morning, Pearson. No, it's not your time to preach. So, okay, so that's it. Be present, practice mindfulness. Express gratitude. We talked about this. Have your journal of gratitude every day. I am grateful for, I am grateful to. All of those kinds of things are absolute ways that we can replenish. We feel better about ourselves. We feel stronger about who we are. And sometimes it clarifies our thoughts when we're very clear on what it is that we're doing. Make or create something, you are so right on that one, because the creative process, you say, results in a sense of accomplishment. Even in being able to create it alone builds on that positive spirit of accomplishment.
Absolutely. And I remember when we went into lockdown last year, and, if we cast our minds back, that was a very stressful time, a very traumatic time for a lot of us. And I remember observing my husband because he's an avid do-it-yourself guy. And hammer was always pounding something, a saw in something. And I was like, what on earth is he doing? But then I realized that maybe that's why he's always so calm, is that he focuses on something that gives him a sense of accomplishment. He has a plan. I'm building this. I'm fixing this. And so he has a sense of accomplishment. He couldn't be out and about the way he usually was. And so he turned his energy, his focus to something else that was within his control. And that was part of my say, okay, so how can I emulate, the good practice that I'm seeing there? And as I mentioned before, it was during the lockdown that I sat at my desk and wrote a book. And also, I got into baking banana bread, but
whoa,
that was
John,
good because then after baking it, I tended to eat it. So
don't tell my taste buds. I love banana bread. Not that you've mentioned it, but you're right. Get into creating something, and it really changes again your perspective because you feel a sense of accomplishment when you see the result that you've done, and it again fills your cup. You talked about positive imagery, where we begin to get into a happy place again, seeing the positive outcomes and again, replenishing the cup. Connect with others. Human connection is so very critical.
Indeed, indeed. And I say in the book, there's a reason why solitary confinement is one of the highest forms of punishment. because we are social beings. We crave that interaction. Some of us more than others, because some of us really enjoy our own company. But the thing is, if we were deprived of the company of others, it really would take a toll on us.
Yeah.
So do remember to reach out and make a human to human connection.
Indeed. Ask for or accept support, and most of all, breathe. Breathe your way through the whole process as well, and feel your cup being filled again. But avoid the pitfalls of perfectionism. So many of us find ourselves, particularly us in this business, because we want to do it well, we want to do it right. We know that we're before the eyes of everyone, and so everyone has an opinion on what you do, and it gets very difficult, that burden to carry, and it can drain you at the end of the day. So avoiding that pitfall is so very vital.
Yes, and there's so many of us who will, proudly announce, oh, I'm a perfectionist. And I used to be part of that crowd. When people would refer to me as a perfectionist, I felt good because I'm like, oh, they're acknowledging my high standard. It actually is counterproductive. First of all, perfection is an illusion, okay? There's no such thing as being perfect. But what we do in pursuit of perfection is that we stress ourselves out and we don't enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
And something that I like to remind myself and others is that sometimes good enough is good enough.
It's good enough. That's right. That's right.
Right? Not everything is an Olympic sport where the only possible acceptable outcome for you is a gold medal. Sometimes you do things just to enjoy the process of doing it.
So true. Joan, I gotta go. And I'm doing it not just for simply enjoying the process, but I'm enjoying the process at the same time as well. Remember, folks, the book is available at Day's Bookstore. You can get a copy today. You can also go online to utdsinc.com. Joan is also there herself to get it. It's available too on Amazon. Someone says, I love this advice. Thank you. Caroline Morris is saying thank you today. Caroline Martins is saying thank you today, Joan, for the advice you're giving to us today, reminding us that, you can't pour from an empty cup. Simple Simon Bay the Pieman. So we've come to the end of managing self. We're going to go into managing others next week, should God spare life. So Joan, as usual, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
And thank you, Pearson. This is a wonderful way to start my Wednesday morning, spending it with you and the audience.
Good. So our cup is recharged, we're refilled, we're ready to pour again. Thank you, Joan Underwood. What an outstanding woman. She deserves national awards for me. We're going to take a break here. We're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
December 1st kicks off our focus on Christmas. What are you going to give me for Christmas? That's what we've been asking. So the promotion is on. So every day up until we say when, we'll be calling you, and you better answer your phone. So when you hear your phone ring, answer your phone. You know what you ought to do. Can we get ready for call number 1 today to see if we get somebody on the phone who is going to answer it correctly? And if you answer it correctly, you win with us here at the CBC in our CBC Christmas promotion. Remember, you get a chance to do so. So if you haven't already sent in your number, I hope you have, then you don't stand a chance. But you have to send your number in, WhatsApp it into 467-5465, and let's see if we can get you in the winner's row today. Now remember, all of this you get a chance to win in association with our valued sponsors. We can be your sponsor by Flow, Purity Bakeries, Beat, 365 Detox by O'Neill, Barpack Hams, Lionel Seahill Supermarket, Fruits AD, Chickmont Foods Limited, Caribbean LED Lighting, Berger Paints, Aunt May's Seasoning for Christmas, Uplift Rehab and Safety Supplies, Zapatos by Alexander, C6 Distributors Incorporated, Promotech, 5x5 Auto, A1 Supermarkets, Post Wireless World, Exquisite Flooring. So you see, it just goes on and on and on. So many people have joined us on this. The Grease Strap Man as well, Soothing Touch, The Spa, AA Lacrice, and Eddie's Supermarket and Extreme Distributors. So a number of people joining us on this. We're calling someone now. Let's see if we get them on the phone and on the air. I want to hear them answer. So put it through to me so I can hear it. And we'll see if we get a winner this morning. You stand a chance to win. You can WhatsApp your number to 467-5465. You can send an email with your name and your number to contests@cbc.bb, or you can leave a message once you call 467-5465. We want to give as many of you a chance across the CBC network here on TV, Morning Barbados, on each of our radio stations as well. So let's see if we get a winner today. And I'm told that the first person we're going to be calling goes, can we hear it? Can we hear it? Can we hear it? I got it. We got it. Let's see. Shh. Let's see. Come on, answer your phone. Answer your phone.
Hello?
Answer your phone. She didn't answer her phone? She has to answer me. Hello?
What are you going to give me for Christmas?
Don't bring that one to me. Why were you pausing on your phone?
What are you going to give me for Christmas?
Why were you paused on your phone?
What are you going to give me for Christmas?
Oh, you're going to repeat it. I see. That's how we're going to play this. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Brenda?
Yes, please.
Is that your first name?
Yes, please.
Brenda, when you heard the phone ring and you took it up, what did you do?
I looked at the number first, so that's why I paused.
And when you saw that it was a number that you did not recognize, why did you pause?
I answered, what are you going to give me for Christmas?
After you heard my voice?
No, I didn't hear your voice. I saw it as a number that I didn't saw in my phone before, so I figured out maybe someone is calling me, so I said, what are you going to give me for Christmas?
All right. Fair enough, Brenda. I take your explanation. Congratulations, Brenda. You are a winner today. And so thank you so much for answering your phone. What are you going to give me for Christmas? Well done, Brenda. Brenda, what's your last name, if you don't mind me asking?
It's a French name. Peltier. Peltaii.
Oh, nice.
French.
Very nice.
It's
and I love the language. Do you speak French?
Yes, a little of it.
Un petit peu.
I'm out of it now.
You don't even know that now. All right, Brenda.
I live here now, so I'm out of it. I'm here now over 45 years now.
Oh.
I'm out of it.
That's a long time indeed. But thank you so much, Brenda, for playing along with us. And congratulations. Do we know what Brenda has won? Or are we going to tell Brenda off the phone? Tell me quickly. Or Brenda, our producer will talk to you off the phone and let you know what you've won. But congratulations and thank you for playing for us, with us. What are you going to give me for Christmas? Another winner tomorrow, should God spare life. All right? So let's move on now. We want to look at the work of the Optimist Zone 10. As all month December, they're going to be focusing on Zone 10. We're joined by Dwayne Worrell, who is the Lieutenant Governor for Zone 10, the Optimist International Caribbean District, and Dr. Kirta Singh, who is the President of Optimist Club of Barbados North and Zone Rep for Charm. Good morning, both of you.
Hi, good morning, Pearson.
Congratulations, Zone 10. This is your month. What are you focusing on this month?
So, Pearson, we're focusing on a number of things, and basically the work of the Optimist Clubs in our zone. So there are 6 clubs in our zone, and this month we are going to be starting off. Of course, today is World AIDS Day. We want to announce that we are actually collecting items at Massey Supermarkets, Worthing and Sky Mall right now, and also at the UWI. And we'll be donating items to the HIV/AIDS Food Bank later this month. So we want to encourage Barbadians to go to those locations. If you're going to shop, we're just asking you to pick up an extra item and drop it into the barrel when you're leaving so that we can collect some items for the HIV/AIDS Food Bank as today's World AIDS Day. That's when we want to announce it. In addition to that, you can actually donate funds to that initiative as well. We have an account at RBC. The account number is, of course, 21021351. And it's the Optimist Club of Barbados Steps to the Future account. So our branch is Broad Street, and we can also accept donations in cash there as well. But in addition to that, we'll be doing a number of other things. We are going to be going to Harrison's Point later this week to conduct a tree planting exercise. We reached out to Harrison's Point because we want to continue supporting the community, and we think they've done, of course, great work over the last almost 2 years. And just last month, we would have spoken to Lieutenant Governor Kieran Bishop McLean, who planted 55 trees at Walker's Reserve in honor of our 50th year of independence. So we are continuing the initiative at Harrison's Point, and we'll be doing that later this week. Further to that,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So further to that, we have a mental health issues in children discussion coming up, and I was going to pan over to President Kirti, who is our CHARM representative. And of course, mental health issues is a health issue, and the committee is called the Childhood Health and Response Mission. So I think Kirti can go ahead and talk a bit about that.
First, tell me a little bit, Dr. Kirti, about this area for which you have responsibility, CHARM.
Right. CHARM basically means Childhood Health and Response Mission, and it is aligned with the Optimist International Caribbean District's Childhood Health and Wellness Program. And throughout the Optimist year starts from October to October next year, and it is divided into 4 quarters. And the focus of quarter 1 is HIV/AIDS. So the slogan this year is End Inequality and AIDS.
Right. So you're having a panel discussion. So when is it, and how can we participate in it?
The panel discussion was on the 28th of November. It was a pre-AIDS Day, World AIDS Day webinar, and a lot of experts participated. It was an inter-Caribbean island webinar, and it was in partnership with the Faculty of Medical Sciences at Cave Hill. So various aspects were discussed on this. Basically, the regional and the local aspect, the religious aspect, youth, and the legal aspect. So the youth aspect was covered by the preclinical medical students of Cave Hill, and the legal aspect, the experts from Barbados, was Mrs. Faith Marshall Harris, who is also the UN representative from Barbados. So it was a very informative discussion where we discussed about the various aspects of AIDS and how the community can get together in helping the individual to prevent the discrimination and stop the society marginalization against persons who suffer from AIDS.
So how does this now inform your mission going forward, having completed that panel discussion? What do you now do? What do you now implement?
Right. Other than this, we are basically it's divided into 2 areas. One is the fundraising area, and the other is educational area. So the webinar was under the educational program, where we brought awareness in the community through the education. The other is the fundraising activity. So fundraising activity involves 2 activities. One is the the food donation drive, which LTG Dwayne spoke about, and the other is the monetary donation. So food donation drive is done on a physical basis, where the food barrels are kept. Right now it is there in the UV Cave Hill campus, and these barrels would be located in various locations, from Queen Elizabeth Hospital to other locations in Barbados, that is Massey stores, And so this is a physical aspect where people can personally go in and put in their donations, various food items for the HIV food bank, which covers almost 300 families in a year in Barbados. And other than this, we know that we are in the COVID pandemic time. So people who are unable to go in in person, they can donate online monetary donations as well.
Right.
So the details would be transmitted about the donation.
All right, so quickly, Dwayne, because I'm out of time. Dwayne, so today, the drive starts today, but it doesn't end today, does it?
It certainly does not. The barrels will be available all month long, so you want to make a donation to the food bank at the end of the month.
All right. So how do we identify that it is yours that we're dropping food stuff into?
There's a fantastically large poster on it, which has a large Optimist logo, so you can't miss it.
All right, that's great to hear. We got to leave it there. Dwayne Worrell, who is the Lieutenant Governor for Zone 10, and Dr. Kirti Singh, the President of Optimist Club of Barbados North, also Zone Representative for Charm. Best of luck on all of this, and wish you only the very best, and thank you for your continued work and assistance of our community and communities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. We're taking a break here. We're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
14 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. We're going on a supernatural voyage right now. Andrea King, good morning to you.
Good morning. I'm hearing you with supernatural voyage. Tell me more.
Well, in a sense,
Barbados.
Yes, indeed. Good morning, indeed. Because I got to speed up. That's what I'm talking about. So you're going to journey this one with me pretty fast. But you're a member of the Barbados.
I don't know how we're going to talk reparations in like 3 minutes, but
we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Trust me on this one. Hold my hand, I'll hold yours. So you're a member of the Barbados National Task Force on Reparations. You're also with the African Congress, the Global African Congress. Let's talk reparations as you see it.
Reparations as I see it, simple. A crime was committed, justice must be served. The December 12th movement, which started in the USA, has a slogan: they stole us, they sold us, they owe us. Reparations now. Barbados in 2014, I think it was, established the Task Force for Reparations with a view to pursuing this very thing, helping to educate Barbadians about what reparations is and why it is important. And now that we have become a republic, a happy republic, Barbados, we have to pursue. It's even more critical now because it is a part of completing our process of emancipation.
Some people hold the view it's a waste of time. You know, you're not going to get anything anyway. You're just making noise needlessly. What do you say to that point of view?
I think that that's a very myopic view. Anytime somebody does anything to you or a member of your family, you want either an apology or some kind of recompense. So why should it be different now? That it happened 400 years ago is immaterial. What matters really is that the labor of our ancestors of 400 years ago, the genocide that impacted the continent of Africa 400 years ago, still impacts today. People are still benefiting from the labor that we put in, the blood, sweat, and tears that our African ancestors put in. Even today, people are still benefiting from the labor of Africans, and Africans must be recompensed. And when I say Africans, I mean black-skinned people who are descended from those who were stolen from the continent, taken to the Caribbean, taken to the Americas, taken to Europe.
Some have said I've evolved, and so in my evolution, my point of view on life and how we view black people is totally different from my ancestors, but I'm required to pay. So, and they feel it's unfair. As we see one of the British people, you know, he's parliamentarian, he's saying, but Drax Hall, I didn't have anything to do with it. Why am I being asked to be punished for this? What do you say?
Is there a statute of limitations on genocide? That would be my response. Is there a statute of limitation on genocide? Your foreparents owned a plantation which they passed on to you. You are still culpable, and it is still relevant. How much of what that plantation makes redounds to the benefit of the people in Barbados, the people who work for it? The land is in Barbados, but do we own it? No, it is still owned by people who owned us. Therefore, that justice must be recompensed.
So how do we as ordinary Barbadians, now that we're a republic, now that we're responsible for our own destiny, how do we join our voices with yours and the organization to raise the alarm really and to get the things that we're asking for?
It is very critical for people to understand why reparations was important, particularly because of the question that you just asked, the statement that you just made. It happened so long ago, why does it matter now? I think that once people understand that an injustice was committed against them that lasted for generations unto generations, then they will begin to appreciate why it is important to get that justice. We talk about fairness, balance, and equity. Well, if you have wronged me, I am not going to talk to you and engage with you until you apologize. Whether you apologize in a written form or apologize by repaying whatever damage you caused. So once people begin to understand this, then I think that we will go a lot further. One of the projects that the Task Force for Reparations is going to engage in is the actual pursuit of reparations from the Drax family. What that will look like, I could not say. It may very well end up with the lands being given back to Barbadians for the use of future Barbadian generations. But I do know that that's something that we'll be paying attention to.
How do I do this without getting angry?
How do you do what without getting angry?
You said we need to get to know.
Ask for justice?
Seeking justice, but getting knowledge as well without getting angry. Because the
But
picture
it is
isn't
fine to
necessarily
get
beautiful.
angry. It is fine to get angry, but then you channel that anger into positive action, into sustaining you, giving you the energy to continue. This is a 400-year battle. This is a 400-year struggle. This is a 400-year fight. It may not happen, Pearson, in our lifetimes, but those of us who have children and grandchildren, we would want to see them inherit a better world than we did. So that is why we must keep on fighting. And that's why when we get angry, yes, get angry if you must, but channel that anger into the action that it takes to get the justice that we know we must have and that we deserve.
Andrea, you see how we got there without even feeling the pain? Andrea King, thank you so much for joining us this morning, a member of the National Task Force on Reparations. I know, but life is like that sometimes. Maybe we need to have a part 2 to this one. But Andrea, thank you so much for joining us.
Definitely. Reparations, no.
My producer's listening, so that's all right. Thank you so much, all right? Andrea King, indeed. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, another man from England. We're meeting in Beijing from afar.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Alan Crawford is his name. He's our Bajan from afar. He's 36. He lives in Liverpool in the UK. Good morning to you, Alan.
Morning. You good? You okay?
I like the way you said that. You good? Yes, I'm great. Thank you so much, Alan. You're sounding very much like a Bajan to me. Your grandfather migrated to the UK years ago. And so naturally, you're part of our history here as a Barbadian. I like your story that in lockdown, you sought to surf online to find your roots. And it led you back to some people who you met who are part of your family. So how was that?
It was amazing. Like, yeah, my granddad came over to Liverpool in the 50s and settled here. And, you know, I grew up hearing the Bajan accent and, you know, the map was on the wall. And I was always curious. But when he passed, I kind of felt like I lost a connection. So during lockdown, I wanted to trace my family roots and, you know, through doing that, connected with loads of family over there, great aunts, great uncles, cousins, and yeah, it was a really good experience.
So prior to his passing, how much of your connection to us here did you know?
Not a lot. He didn't talk about it much. He, you know, he kind of didn't say a lot about it, but he said enough for me to be curious and for me to want to, you know, really embrace that side of my heritage. Yeah.
So when you were able to trace your aunts, your cousins here in Barbados, talk to me about that moment when you first met each other.
It was just amazing to connect and to realise my family doubled in size, you know, overnight. And you know, there's such, you know, Bajans are warm, loving people, and it's been great to expand my family and get to know them, you know.
Did you get to see them? And when you saw them, if you did you think to yourself, wait, she or he looks like someone else who's a member of your family?
There's definitely family resemblances for sure.
That's sweet. Now, you've taken it seriously so much to the point where you're representing Barbados, you know, as part of your Caribbean Center for Pop-Ups, you know, and I love the fact that you're representing Barbados so strongly. What does it mean to you really to be a part of Barbados?
Well, I'm on the board of the Caribbean Centre here, and it feels really important for me to kind of rep Barbados and to, because a lot of the stuff that goes on here is kind of in the Caribbean community in Liverpool is associated with Jamaica. You know, I love Jamaica, Jamaican food and culture, but I wanted to wave the flag for Barbados too, and there's a big connection between, you know, Liverpool and Barbados because, you know, lots of significant people in the community in Liverpool have either been Bajan or Bajan heritage. And I wanted to kind of really rep that and promote that, you know. And we had this big night last night to, you know, celebrate independence, and you guys were coming in Republic, and it was a
Tell me about it. Event, what did you guys do last night to celebrate?
So we had a Bajan heritage chef doing, you know, macaroni pie, fish cakes. We had rum punch. We had Soca DJ, who's a Bajan living in Liverpool. So it was a really, really good event to raise money for the Caribbean Centre, but also to rep Bajan culture. And you know, people, it was open to everyone. It was well attended, and people loved it. People loved the vibe, you know.
Now that you know more about your family here and you're hearing in your own head more about Barbados, how do you describe Barbados?
Yeah, that's a hard question. It's somewhere that, you know, it's a beautiful place. It's a place of warm, friendly, loving people with a vibrant culture. You know, I love the music. I love the food. It's a special place.
So who in Barbados, whose name can you call that we would recognize, and who's probably watching us right now, who's a relative of yours who you just recently discovered?
So relatives over there. So there's Sandra Crawford, Mona Crawford, who's living now in America. Got aunties, cousins over there too. I can't. Yeah, my mind's gone blank for names right now. But there's about 15 people who. We have like a WhatsApp chat, a Facebook Messenger chat where we keep in touch with each other, and I'm hoping to get over there in March or April to see people and connect.
Face to face. I love it indeed. Alan Crawford, it's our immense pleasure meeting you this morning. Congratulations on what you've discovered. Well done for continuing to represent the Caribbean culture through your Barbadian roots as well. And when you come in March or April next year, should it be God's will, we'd like to meet you face to face as well, all right?
That'd be cool. Love that.
Indeed, indeed. Alan Crawford of Bajan Afar, he is representing Barbados. Only just discovered his people back here in Barbados because his grandfather passed. He had to get to connect them to them. Really good work. Thank you, Alan. All right, that's it for today. Thank you too for joining us. For a little crew, Alicia Alsgrant, or my producer, Roel Ford, our technical director. We have Michael Sobers on sound. Tamisha Green is at master control. Thank you, Barbados. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.